ESTRADA versus DASIERTO. GR number 146710-15. Decision date March 2nd, 2001. This case is all about the dispute over the presidency of the Philippines leads to the resignation of Joseph Ejercito Estrada and the assumption of power by Gloria Macapagal Arroyo as determined by the Supreme Court, setting legal precedent for the transfer of power and clarifying constitutional provisions. Let's go to the facts of the case. In the consolidated case of Estrada versus DASIERTO, Joseph Ejercito Estrada contested the legitimacy of Gloria Macapagal Arroyo's presidency following his ouster. Estrada was elected president in May 11, 1998 elections, while Arroyo was elected vice president. Estrada's presidency faced severe challenges starting October 4, 2000, when Ilocos Sur Governor Luis Chavez Singson accused him for receiving millions from wedding lords. This led to series of events, including a very privileged speech by Senator Gingona Jr. and an investigation by the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. The House of Representatives initiated impeachment proceedings against Estrada. Calls for his resignation grew, with significant figures like Archbishop Jaime Cardinal Sin, former Presidents Corazon Aquino and Fidel Ramos, and even Arroyo herself joining the chorus. Estrada resisted these calls, but the situation escalated with a massive resignation from his cabinet and withdrawal of support from military and police. On January 20, 2001, after a series of negotiations and mounting pressure, Estrada left Malacanang Palace and Arroyo took her oath as president. Estrada later filed petitions challenging Arroyo's presidency and seeking to enjoin the ombudsman from investigating criminal charges against him. The issues of the case are whether the petition present a justiciable controversy. Next is whether Joseph Ejercito Estrada, a president on leave while Gloria Macapagal Arroyo is an acting president. Third, whether the conviction in the impeachment proceedings a condition precedent for the criminal prosecution of Estrada. If not, does he enjoy immunity from criminal prosecution? And lastly, whether the prosecution of Estrada be enjoined on the ground of prejudicial publicity. The rulings of the Supreme Court for the following issues are: for the first one is the petition present a justiciable controversy according to the Supreme Court. Next one is Joseph Estrada is not a president on leave and Gloria Macapagal Arroyo is the de jure president. Conviction in the impeachment proceedings is not a condition precedent for the criminal prosecution in Estrada, and it does not enjoy immunity from criminal prosecution. And lastly, the prosecution of Estrada should not be enjoined on the ground of prejudicial publicity. Let's go to the ratio of the decision of the Supreme Court. In terms of the first issue, the justiciable controversy, the court held that the issues raised were legal questions requiring the interpretation of constitutional provisions, particularly those concerning the presidency and the scope of presidential immunity. The court rejected the argument that the cases involved a political question, emphasizing that the judiciary has power to determine whether there has been a grave abuse of discretion by any branch of government. In terms of the presidency status, the court determined that Estrada had effectively resigned based on his actions and statements before, during, and after January 20, 2001. The court used a totality test to conclude that Estrada's departure from Malacanang and his subsequent statements indicated a clear intent to relinquish the presidency. The court also noted that both houses of Congress and the international community had recognized Arroyo as the president, further solidifying her legitimacy. For the third ratio, impeachment and immunity, the court ruled that Estrada's impeachment trial had become moot due to his resignation and the subsequent recognition of Arroyo's presidency. Therefore, Estrada could be prosecuted for criminal charges without the need for prior conviction in the impeachment proceedings. The court also clarified that Estrada, as non-sitting president, did not enjoy immunity from criminal prosecution for acts committed during his tenure. And lastly, for prejudicial publicity ratio, the court found no sufficient evidence to warrant an injunction against Ombudsman's investigations to ESTRADA. The court emphasized that the pervasive publicity alone does not prove actual prejudice. ESTRADA needed to show that investigating panel had been unduly influenced by the media coverage, which he failed to do. The court maintained that the right to fair trial is not incompatible with free press and that responsible reporting can enhance judicial administration. Thank you.